Hello there. That was a weird introduction, wasn't it? This tree is my favourite tree in Ynysynghad Park, Pontypridd. It is a Sequoiadendron giganteum, so it's very hard to get in shot. There you go. So it's a giant redwood, and this tree is probably as old as the park. The park was sorted in just after the First World War in the early 1920s, so it's probably 100 years old. It's about 40 metres tall. It's just going to keep growing as long as the North Atlantic winds don't blow it down, which it seems unlikely in this relatively low elevation spot. So things you need to think about with Sequoiadendron giganteum, the giant redwood, big tree, is it's got these kind of cypress-like leaves that twist, and hard to show because I can't actually reach them here. And then they've got the similar kind of kern to dawn redwood and cursed redwood with the Mick Jagger lips cross section in the kern. If you're ever in a forest of redwoods, you can just gather the kerns and use them, the energy in the seeds and the wood of the kern, just to keep a fire going. You don't need to chop firewood, just gather the kerns. We try to grow this tree in the UK for timber. The stands can be quite hard to establish, and the seedlings can be usually quite small coming from the nurseries. So we tend to grow them in groups of like 100 to 500 and in a corner where they're easy to reach and maintain. And then if we get mortality, they can be quite expensive trees to buy compared to more common forest trees. So we, depending on the location and whether we got the trees in the right place, we may not beat up with those with big tree sequoias. Anyway, the timber is good, although you get very, very thick bark. So sawmillers get frustrated at the debarking process with these trees. They've got a very resistant timber, a bit like western red cedar and larch, so it's great for cladding and things like that. And in parks and gardens, they're an absolute joy because they usually are the biggest tree in the park. So Sequoiadendron giganteum, keep an eye out for that very, very distinct shape. My name's Andrew Sorby, and I'm your friendly neighbourhood chartered forester.